All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Downtime. Sarah here with my co-host Sheri and Krupa Ravichandraan from Bosch Rexroth. Welcome to the show, Krupa.
Thank you, Sarah, for having me. Hi, Sheri. Nice to meet
Hi, thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for being here. We're glad to have you.
Awesome.
Krupa, could you share just a little bit about your background with us?
Yes. Full name Krupa Ravichandraan. I'm a sales product manager for Bosch Rexroth, mainly responsible for our VarioFlow conveyor line, um, along with some cobot palletizing solution that we offer. I've been with the company for almost 4 years now. Initially, I was a solutions architect for our consumer packaged goods vertical. I moved into this role almost 2 years ago. Before that, I was working for a packaging machinery company called ITW Harkness, based out of Greenville, South Carolina. I started there as a mechanical engineering intern when I came out of Clemson University. Did mechanical engineering there. I did case packing internship there at Harkness for a while. After graduation, I started as a full-time, did mechanical engineering for their robotic palletizing, depalletizing, and robotic case packing group for a couple of years. I was, itching towards interacting with customers, solving problems in the field, things like that. So they saw my interest towards that, and they promoted me into an application engineer system integration role. So I was designing system layouts, starting from filling all the way to palletizing and stretch wrapping, anywhere from a couple $1 million to $6+ million for food, beverages, personal care products, all the big names in the industry. Did that for a few more years. And then as I was looking for a more commercial focused role, more sales kind of role, or strategy focused role, Bosch reached out to me, and here I am with Bosch.
Well, welcome to the Downtime. We are so happy to have you. I didn't realize you were a Clemson Tiger. I do like that tie-in.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm Clemson Tiger. I'm also a Gamecock now. I'm doing my part-time MBA with South Carolina University, a Dartmouth school.
Ah, it's a split household. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, it is. And by the way, I forgot to mention,
Sure.
I have been a big fan of the work that you both do. I do follow you on LinkedIn, Sarah. I think you both are doing a great service to the industry, to the audience that watch you, and also to people like us within the industry to learn about what's happening with other companies. And you guys keep it interesting, which is the fun part.
Thank you so much. We always love hearing that people love what we do. So keep it coming.
Keep it
You're doing great.
interesting. Yeah, I think we
For
can do
sure.
that.
For sure.
All right, Krupa, let's just start. Can you give us a quick overview of how Bosch supports CPG plants with material handling? Maybe talk about the VarioFlow. No, it's an open-ended question, but take it and run with it.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. I know you've been to our Automate, booth, and you've seen most of our equipment. For the benefit of your audience, I will take a step back, give a little bit of an overview of Bosch Rexroth as a company, and then go into details about how we support the CPG plants. So Bosch Rexroth is a 235 plus year old company. Not many companies can say that. We are really proud of that. That speaks to the engineering prowess that we bring to the CPG customers. Um, Bosch has solutions across multiple industries. We have hydraulics, mobile hydraulics, industrial hydraulics, and factory automation. Within factory automation, we have three business areas. I'm part of assembly technology business area, which focuses on material handling systems, aluminum framing for guardings and workstations, and eco-safe meshes for packaging machinery companies. And we also have Kassav cobots for case pick and place applications, palletizing applications, inspection rejection applications as well. The second business unit within factory automation is our automation and electrification business unit that focuses on drives and controls, motors, VFDs, high-speed conveyance systems, etc. And the third business unit within the factory automation is a linear motion technology that's mostly gantry, linear rails, ball bearings, all of that go into packaging machineries. as well. So, so that's the general overview of Bosch Rexroth as a company. So as I said, work within the assembly technology business area, and I'm responsible for the VarioFlow conveyor product line. Within VarioFlow conveyors, we have two product lines, sub-product lines. One is the VarioFlow Plus conveyor line, which has been our workhorse for more than, I would say, 15, 20 years in the United States, much longer in Europe and other parts of the world before that. And VarioFlow Belt is a recent addition to our portfolio. It's a modular plastic chain mesh conveyor. To mainly both of these conveyors predominantly serve the CPG industry. Outside of CPG, we also serve the automotive space with our pallet puck conveyors, and the defense industry recently a lot more. And of course, cobots, we use it for palletizing and all those applications. So that's where we predominantly serve our customers.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So talk a little bit about how the material handling systems are designed to integrate with packaging machinery in particular.
This is a really good question. So it depends on whether we are looking at a greenfield facility or a brownfield facility. If we are looking at a brownfield facility, for example, a customer already has a packaging machine. Many times it's running for like 7 or 10 years, and they want to make an upgrade. Because as you know, in our industry, CPG industry, we keep changing the bottle sizes, the formats, the shapes, the speeds, all of that keeps changing. So the manufacturer needs to adapt to cater to these new products and rates and everything. So our conveyors are more modular. The construction of the conveyor itself, aluminum framing. We also have stainless steel option, but predominantly we use aluminum framing, which allows the manufacturers to change the width, the length with ease. When you compare it to a stainless steel conveyor, which is more custom made, you have to design it. It takes time to actually precision cut, laser cut. You have to assemble it. It's all timed. It's not modular as modular as an aluminum framing conveyor. That's our biggest advantage. So because of that, in brownfield facilities, if the manufacturer has to change the width of the conveyor, increase the length, or speeds and rates, easily doable with the VarioFlow Plus and the VarioFlow Belt conveyor. One example that I could offer is recently a customer reached out to us and they said, hey, we are looking at your VarioFlow Belt conveyor because we wanted to increase from 8 inches to 24-inch conveyor belt. Can you do that? And we said, yeah, we can do that. So we sent it to the application engineering team. We were thinking of coding them a new system, but then our application engineers came back and said, hey, by the way, they're using our aluminum framing, which can be reused. All they need to use is our new chains. If we can send that to them, they should be good to go with the new motor. That's exactly what we offered to them. They saved money on that, almost 30%. 2, that they saved time because they already used the existing parts. All they had to do was retrofit at their facility. And 3, sustainable solution. You're not throwing away a lot of parts. You're reusing the parts, which is a win-win for both the manufacturer and us, because we also strongly believe and follow the sustainability initiative that's going around.
Thank you, Krupa. I know.
Not sure if I answered your question, but yeah.
It was great. In terms of VarioFlow, I know it moves a lot of bulk products. Any other products you may want to share that you typically see deployed on it?
Yes. So VarioFlow Plus is really good for single file flow of products such as bottles, cans, tubs, trays, even cases. Single file is more suitable for the VarioFlow Plus because it's modular plastic chain links. But the VarioFlow Belt is a much wider belt, more stronger. It's basically 1 inch by 1 inch links attached to each other across the width and the length to form the width and length. On that conveyor, the mesh sizes are the joints are so tiny, the holes are really small, so you can transport small pouches. Any product that does not require that does require a flat surface can be transported on the VarioFlow Belt. For example, paper tissue bundle that we see in a Costco or a Walmart, for example, or a big pouch of salad candies, or a tray of bakery products, for example, vials of pharmaceutical mass flow vials of pharmaceutical products. All of that can be transported on the VarioFlow belt. So it's more versatile. I wouldn't say VarioFlow Plus is less versatile, but it's just depends on what application you use.
Right. And Krupa, don't get me started on Costco, because now every time I go to the store, I'm a club member. I'm going to be looking at all the products and thinking, was this on the VarioFlow?
Yeah.
It
Sarah,
might have.
yeah, Sarah's always talking about going to the club, and we all know that means Costco.
Big fan. Sorry, Sheri.
I've seen a few podcasts about clubs and hookah and everything, so I know.
He's done his
So
research.
Exactly. You know our backstory.
A little bit.
That's great. Excellent. I think one of the buzzwords in plant engineering, especially, is artificial intelligence. And can you talk a little bit about how you see AI impacting conveyance, kind of specifically, but more broadly, material handling and supply chain going forward, like let's say in the next 5 years or so?
That's very good question. A lot of people, the CPG manufacturers, packaging machinery manufacturers, even us suppliers are talking a lot about how this is going to impact the industry as a whole. When I get the opportunity, and I'm fortunate to speak with a lot of the manufacturers because of the role that I'm in, voice of customer, strategy, and everything. What I'm hearing is that it's kind of mixed. I would like to look at it as like two categories: one small and medium end users, and the other one is large end users. Everyone wants to use AI at a top level. Everyone wants to try to increase their productivity level of their employees. The first thing that they suggest is ChatGPT, Gemini, and those software tools to increase their productivity. But when it comes to the physical AI, which is where the industrial automation fits into, many people are still scrambling to understand how it can be utilized. The first area where it might be used effectively is integrating AI with our sensors and Industry 4.0 technologies, where we already are gathering data from our temperature sensors, vibration sensors, force sensors, etc. So the performance of the conveyors. You're getting that data, but then the challenge for even large manufacturers was, how can I convert this data to make better decisions? That's where the AI comes in. It's because it's easier. Software industry has been using it. They can quickly adapt, plug and play, convert the data into visual or whatever format that the managers or operators can see and make real-time decisions quickly to perhaps change the production flow, or the machine needs an update, the parts need an update at a lower level, or even a plant needs updates and changes. So that's the first area where it can really have an impact before we talk about humanoids taking over the plant floor. All that is, in my personal opinion, that's going to take 10, 15 years or even more. Maybe I shouldn't use the word hype, but it is what, that's what I think it is, hype. Humanoids
Absolutely.
are.
Well,
But
have you seen them run or like try to box? I mean, they're all over the place, the humanoids. I don't know. They can't even balance properly. I don't want them running my factory.
Neither can I.
Right. Well, that's true.
I'm with you, Sheri and Sarah. I see them, all the trade shows that we walk. You also go to the trade shows. We see them in the trade shows. I think automotive industry is implementing them in an experimental way. But I do not see our CPG manufacturers doing that yet, because we have a long way to go. Large manufacturers are still trying to implement the Industry 4.0. They are looking at how to modernize some of their plants, extracting this data and making the better decisions, automated changeovers. We are still thinking about all those things. Of course, they are looking into how they can use humanoids in the future, but not today. I don't think so. And if we look at small end users and medium end users, they're still trying to figure out how they can refill the labor shortages that they have, how they can automate some of the lines, because they have 6 or 8 operators standing and still doing pick and place. They're not using cobots. They're not using robots to do palletizing. They're thinking about how can I fix my labor shortages? How can I increase my throughput and efficiency by using some of these automated packaging equipment? That's where we are in the packaging world, fortunately or unfortunately. Yeah.
Krupa, I just want to circle back for 1 second. Would you say this data generated with these digital tools, sensors, can help extend the life cycle of the conveyor, its lifespan?
You're absolutely right. I can actually give you a real world example. So
Okay.
one of our customers, longtime customers, big name in the industry, I cannot name them because of some NDAs that we have. They were using our VarioFlow Plus conveyor, have been using them for almost 7-8 years with minimal upgrades to the chains, spare parts, and motors. So they were having issues with their chain flights, the links, all of a sudden. And we were trying to understand why. They reached out to us and said, hey, suddenly the links are failing. And we were like, okay, what's happening? What could have changed? When we dug deeper, we understood they introduced a bigger container, much heavier, because it fit inside the conveyor width. They thought, it should be fine to just, use it. But it was much heavier. There was an attachment on the chain which pushed these containers up into a labeler, and it was transferring from one conveyor to another conveyor, these containers. As they were transferred, these mounts pushed them and hit them. Because of that impact, the chains started flexing and eventually they failed over a period of time. That could have been avoided if there was a sensor attached to the chain, or some kind of an inspection device. It could be a camera inspection device as well to see the gaps in between the chains, which could be coded back into the system to determine anomalies. That's what we recommended to our customers. For now, we of course upgraded them to a stronger chain. But in the future, if this needed to be avoided, either they should have reached out to us ahead before changing the scope of work, or they could have added all these sensors and made it easier for them to avoid the downtime.
Downtime,
But
it always
Let me
not this
question.
downtime. Absolutely. Kind of circling back to automation and, talk a little bit about how you kind of hit on it a little bit in terms of a lot of plants are using automation to kind of fill these labor gaps. How do you feel that automation will change the way people do their jobs and interact with automation?
That's a good question. So I think it it depends on who we are looking at. Again, the small and medium end users, the way the automation is going to affect them is the foundation, the bottom line, to increase their throughput, increase their efficiency, keep the production flow running, don't stop the machines. That's what they are more concerned about. Traceability, they don't want to have issues in parts, metals getting into a product. That's the main focus of the small end users, to get every day with the products, keep their production line running and get good amount of profit. That can be done by automating some of the low-hanging fruits, such as a case packer. Every small and medium end user has a filling line, a capping line machine. So that's most of them have that. Where they need to automate is the case pick and place operation, where there are 4 or 6 operators. They need to upskill. That's what they're looking at, upskilling these operators and then bringing in a small machine, either a cobot machine or a Delta robot machine, or even a traditional, case packing machine. And then down the line, you have, 4 or 6 operators again, picking up cases, palletizing by hand, injury prone, liability issues, and labor shortages. All these play a major role in making them choose a palletizing machine, be it a small, low-level traditional palletizing machine or a high-speed palletizing robotic machine. But that's where the small end users are focused on. Maybe they will go one step further and add check weighers and automated check weighers, inspection devices, just to make sure that they're following all the protocols and safety standards. Now, look at the large end users. They're thinking about automation in a completely different, they have different sets of glasses, so to speak, to look at automation. They're thinking about, okay, I have all these machines. How can I, optimize my plant layout to make it more modular so that when I introduce a new product line, I'm not putting a completely new line. Instead, I'm using some of these equipments, rearranging them, and making sure that I use less amount of new capital to optimize what I have in the plant floor. That requires using either first collecting data. If they don't have the ability to collect data, they need to first invest in the collection equipment to collect the data. The second step is to then analyze the data. That's where some of the AI automation comes in, to analyze the data and make better decisions. Visual reports, digital twin simulations are popping up all over the place now, which is true. It's not a buzzword anymore. People are using it, and it's bringing benefits to the large end users as well. And another thing that these large end users are looking at is also modular and scalable machines. I'm talking about not just within the machines. Like within the machine, parts can be modular. You can switch out some of the parts and make the machine modular. But I'm talking about machines being modular itself. You change the scope of the machine a little bit. It, instead of it handling different types of cases, it handles bottles and cases as well, just as an example. So you're making the machine modular, and then the next step is making the production line modular as well. You make a case packing machine which has a robot. It's just doing case packing, but you change some of the height and width and the rates of the robot to make it a palletizer, for example. You use aluminum, for example, aluminum framing that we have to change the frame. It's just modular construction. The robot cobot that we have, the Kasprzak cobot, we have different configurations. Instead of 5 kg cobot, you go to a 15 or 20 kg cobot. And inside the cell, you change the width of the conveyors. And now you have a modular palletizing system instead of a case packing system that you had, for example. This is just an example. You could do so many things with modular and scalable solution. That's where everyone is moving towards. This could be an end-of-arm tool that could be modular and scalable too. This could be a big machine or a plant level modularity.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's really insightful.
Krupa, we are in 2026. If you had to predict material handling trends that we'll see in the next few months, what would they be and why?
What we are seeing because of regulatory requirements is people moving from 1D barcode to more of a 2D QR scan code barcode type of barcodes, for lack of a better word. I think everyone is moving towards that because of regulatory requirements. That's happening immediately, not sometime in the near future. Mm-hmm. The second trend that I'm seeing is automated changeovers. We have to keep in mind the large end users are bringing in more than 50 to 60% of new capital equipment investment. That's the reality. So they always look for how to upgrade machines. So automated changeovers is taking up, a lot of space in their mind. Number three, I think once they have that, they're looking at adding these digital twin simulations. Before they invest in a new line, they want to have a digital physical simulation. Physical is the line, digital is the simulation, so they can map it and see where the machines could eventually fail and do predictive and preventative maintenance. So predictive and preventative maintenance is a big thing that's happening, has been happening, and will happen in the near future as well. These are the three things that come to my mind immediately. But what are you guys seeing? I know you speak to a lot of people in the industry. What do you hear?
Well, we could talk 2D barcodes and digital twins all day, Krupa, but we can't have the whole afternoon with you. I'm sure you have other things to do. But in terms of packaging OEM content, like I mentioned, digital twins. We do have some info on the 2D barcodes. That's Sunrise 2027. That's the industry's date to transition to 2D barcodes at point of sale systems. In terms of material handling, increasing the life cycle of a conveyor and using data, artificial intelligence, things like that. What about you, Sheri?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, on the plant floor, plant engineers are talking a lot about digital twins. That's a huge thing for us. And, asset management as well is a big thing for us. This sort of data-driven asset management, being able to collect as much data as you can. Data seems to be the name of the game right now when it comes to, plant engineering.
Data, yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate it.
Of course, Krupa.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the Downtime. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Same here. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.